Let's see. I missed rational reasoning. We'll see if he's still hanging out. See if we can get him in here. Rational reasoning, you there?
Yeah, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, well, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I was gonna say that I'm pretty fortunate to be able to get in with the new randomized system. So,
I
um,
Sure.
guess. Depends on what your
yeah,
definition of fortunate is. The show kind of sucks. So
well, probabilistically favorable or
there it
something
is.
like that.
That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about the George Floyd situation. Obviously, I guess it's been all consuming, and there's really just only a couple of points I just wanted to make.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been concentrating really on the police aspect of it.
Hmm.
Um, I think the conversation is kind of getting hijacked by the racial aspect.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like I watched your video earlier today, Matt, or actually listened, and I think the police can do that. To like, I don't think it's race dependent.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a factor just because like race is a factor in everything, or whatever. Like if you go to the store, like you gotta notice that. But I mean, I don't think it's the as they say like the salient variable or whatever. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to say that like I think it's indicative of like police culture in general because
Yeah,
like
that's true.
you know what I mean. Like I don't. Yeah, I don't like. This was not a high intensity situation. It wasn't like a gun. Like they didn't think that there was a gun there. It was just a very slow developing situation, and it was just. I think it was just indicative of just years of that stuff in the making. You know, but yeah, I think it'll take a
I
lot of
don't know.
effort to try to make it better. But
I
that's
mean,
my
I'm
opinion.
yeah, yeah. I'm no fan of police brutality or what happened. Certainly, I do think that something like this is pretty isolated. Whether it's happening to a
Mhm.
black guy, white guy, Tony Timpa, George Floyd,
Yeah.
whoever. That's not to
Mhm.
say that like we don't care. We do, and we want to minimize
Right,
these things as much as possible.
And it clearly
right,
happens
But
sometimes.
yeah,
right.
and it does. And
Mhm.
and I guess I'm surprised that this is a tactic of some sort. Like this was a thing
Mhm.
that happened with the Dallas Police Department. This was a thing that
Mhm.
happened with the Minneapolis Police Department. And I don't know the motives of the cops who did this and why,
Right.
but it does seem weird to me that at some level, somewhere along the chain here, kneeling on a guy who's
Mhm.
handcuffed in the case of George Floyd, and I think in the case of Tony Timpa too, but don't quote me on that.
With
A
some
guy
sort
who
of
is
acceptable legal
right, like
practice
the,
or
the guy
police
is
practice.
effectively detained at that point. And I
Right.
say
Right.
this I say this open to an explanation from somebody in a police force or somebody who understands what's going on, because I don't. I've
Right.
never made a single arrest in my life. I don't know how to do that sort of thing. But just from a
Right.
layman perspective, I am
Mhm.
somewhat surprised that this is a thing, what we've observed in both of these cases. So
Right.
I need
Yeah.
more explanation on that.
Well, the other thing too I was gonna say is that I'm just kind of watching their faces and like their demeanor and stuff,
Yeah.
and like they just I think they make no differentiation between like if they're getting a call for like a serial killer because they do have to take these calls. So I realize it's a difficult job,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like we have to start expecting a little bit of sort of like nuance, or they have to like decouple that stuff because like the $20 bill thing, like that's not even a crime. Like I used to work at 7-Eleven, and they we used to check that stuff with a pen, and like
Yeah.
at no point were we told to like call the cops.
Hmm.
So I mean, like yeah, like you just give it back to the guy, and like they just don't get the items. I mean, I don't know if it's a
Well, I
crime or
think
not,
I
but
think in this case the transaction had already occurred. That's my understanding. So there would be a
right,
crime in that case. But yeah, to your
right,
point, is it a crime? It's not
yeah,
a crime
yeah,
that's like lethal force. It's not a crime that's like this guy is a threat to the
I mean,
right.
lives of
it's
people
also
in the
possible he
community at the
didn't
moment.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if we're gonna have like a police force and they're gonna have a monopoly on violence and everything like that, we have to expect a little bit more from them, in the sense that okay, you have a call with like an active shooter versus like somebody that didn't put on the seatbelt. But these guys, I don't I didn't see thinking human beings in I see machines. Like that's what I see,
That's why you got to
and
join Team Tinfoil, dude. It doesn't make any sense. Therefore, there's other forces in play.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
right.
I mean that's all I had to say.
Thanks.
So thank you
Thanks,
for
man.
taking my call.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Have a
thank
good
you.
night.
You too. Thank you.